That is what they called the Crystal Palace, and that's actually where they made and kept all of their moonshine to hide it from the people's eyes. However, Mrs. Beavers, as I said earlier, she was no fool, and she realized that her husband came out of the cave a lot more happier than when he went into the cave. So she did what any wife at the time would do, and she called the sheriff on his butt. The sheriff came down here and he said, well, I have a couple of options for you, Mr. Beavers. You can either sell this property or I do have to put you in prison for 7 years. Well, he didn't really want to go to prison, so he did soon sell this entire property, all to a man named Mr. Rogers for $50, which was a steal because Mr. Rogers made a lot of money off of this property. You know that stereotypical greedy money man that you see in cartoons? That was Mr. Rogers. So he came down here and he saw this big giant boulder and he's like, I think there's more cave to explore. So he got a stick of TNT and he blew out a giant portion of our cave, and it did actually reveal the rest of our naturally formed cave system. And when he saw that, he saw money in his eyes, and he did soon open Wonderworld to the public, making this the first official show cave out of the entire state of Texas in 1902. We are going to go into the next room. I will say the further we go, the cooler it's going to get. This is the most humid, stuffiest room, so it's going to get a lot nicer the further we go. But also to get into that next room, we do have to go for the portion that did get blown up by TNT. Because that happened to it, the next portion is very steep. So just be careful. It's going to be a very steep staircase. So hold on to these handrails. Go nice and slow. We are no rushes here at Wonder World. I get paid hourly, so you guys can take as long as you guys want down this staircase. I do not mind. And you guys can follow me down.
Let's go, bud.
Also, if you guys are tall, the entrance to the staircase is pretty short, so just watch y'all's heads.
The live stream cut out, but still can record. Should have got a GoPro.
Underground.
It's fine. I don't need it. I could do
Oh,
something
wow.
else with it.
If you guys look over there, you can see our cave bat. His name is Jeremy. It's pretty cool.
Jeremy
Oh.
the Bat.
But we are about to go down that steep staircase, so hold on and be nice and slow.
And dive. I mean, walk.
I can barely stand all the way up. Don't bump your head.
No, make sure that whatever you do, if you fall face first to make it as least painful as possible for yourself. I mean, on your feet.
Yeah, I've been to that one. That one's cool. My family is big cave people, so we've been to every cave open.
Ooh, that's a big, nice.
This one's shorter.
That's really
And that
cool.
one's longer.
Yeah, it's okay. Just a couple of vertebrae. Yeah.
In Mexico, I definitely recommend
It's all good. It's all good.
that. I consider it the best cave in the U.S.
Keep going, bud.
So many rooms, so many chambers, and it's like, it's worth the money. Be careful right here. There's a low-hanging rock at the end of the staircase.
Yeah. All right.
Hello, low-hanging rock. Oh, hey, the rock is black.
That was 1890.
Oh, sorry.
And then it got opened to the public at 1902. You guys want to see cool rock? Yeah. You can see this giant formation right here. This is our flow stone, and it's actively flowing water right now. Feel free to touch it. This is the only place you can legally touch it in this entire continent. If you guys give it a high five, it is 10 years good luck. And if you lick it, it is 15. So take that as you will.
What if I take it home with me?
I would lick it, but I heard a story from one of those.
Will that
kids
give
where
me
his
just,
band
like,
at where somebody
a whole
did
new
that,
body?
and then they got really sick. So
The second body?
Joking.
I'm not gonna lick it.
Magic poison mineral.
Yeah, cadmium, arsenic.
Do it, Judah.
No.
Do it for the cause. Start the undead apocalypse.
Oh, hey, I forgot to look up.
There's
Yeah,
crystal.
there's all types of angles, and down,
There's like
and left,
the
and
secret
right.
room where you can go down. that one is a crystal palace. That's where we have all of our live rocks. But for here, we don't have really many live rocks. But that is also one of the reasons we are the only privately owned cave in all of America, is because we don't have bats and we don't have live rocks. So that is the reason why everyone can touch the walls, which is really cool.
Also, we're not disturbing them. Okay.
Like you're doing any of that.
Yeah, no,
Government.
we are not
These are
owned by the
dead
state.
giants.
Awesome, you guys. I'm glad that you guys all survived that very scary staircase. You have my back at the line, right? Okay, that's great to know. So this is our grand hallway, the room we're in right now. This is the best room out of the entire cave to see how it all formed. A big giveaway is going to be this giant crack down the middle of our ceiling. Do you guys want to try to guess what this crack is?
I know it's a fault line.
Oh yes, this is a fault line. This here is the Balcones fault line. It's one of the biggest fault lines out of the entirety of North America. It goes from Oklahoma all the way down through central Mexico. But even though this is one of the biggest fault lines, it's also one of the most inactive fault lines. That's why us here in San Marcos don't get a lot of earthquakes, rumbles, grumbles, anything too scary from the rock. However, that hasn't always been the case. 35 million years ago, a giant earthquake rippled along this fault line. It was so strong that it actually pulled apart the walls of our cave, leaving behind what we have today. So if you guys look to y'all's left, you guys can see that the walls kind of go out, then in the middle, and then out again at the bottom. If you guys look to the other side, it does the exact opposite. It goes in first, then out in the middle, and then in again right at the bottom. That's because if you had superhero strength, you guys could actually push the walls of our cave back together and fit perfectly like a puzzle piece. A fun way to show this is if you guys look behind you guys, our cave oven mitt sticking out of the wall. It fit perfectly over here in our cave oven. These earthquake caves are actually super rare. We are the only commercially opened earthquake cave out of the entirety of North America. And that's why we can do a lot of cool things like touching the walls, taking flash photography. And that's why all the other caves in this area, you can't do that because they're made by water erosion. So they're made a lot differently than our cave. So that's why you guys get that cool experience. So I definitely recommend kissing some rocks, touching some walls, anything that you guys want to do because it's a really cool opportunity. However, back in 1902, Mr. Rogers owned this cave. As I said, he had money in his eyes. And he looked at these walls and he said, these look like the world's first petrified sweet potato patch. And he did advertise all of these rocks as that. And back in the day, people were so amazed that these were petrified sweet potatoes. However, there was a couple UT students that came down here and they did not believe this story. So they took upon themselves to come over here and take their own free samples out of our rock. They dug it out, put it in a lab, and found out, wow, what a shocker. These rocks are not sweet potatoes at all. These rocks are just regular potatoes. I'm joking, these are not potatoes. These are a rock called chert nodules. Chert nodules are a rock if it has enough heat and pressure, eventually form into flintstone. But because the walls of our caves got ripped apart so aggressively during that earthquake, all the heat and pressure needed to fully form got lost, leaving these as chert nodules for the rest of history. We call these all our Peter Pan stones because they will never grow up. However, if you guys follow me in our next room, you can see some actual flint. Another warning from my tall friends, the next room does have a low-hanging door, so please just duck as you guys go in, and you guys can follow me down.
Keep going. This is the pub, right?
Okay, now this is made out of actual cinder block.
Excuse me.
When a lady shine, let her shine up there. She coming.
And you guys, this is a very cool room. If you guys look above me, you guys can see that same fault line from before. The Bakwani's fault line will follow us throughout the entirety of our cave tour today. However, if you guys look at our ceiling some more, you guys might realize it does look a little different in this room. That's because the entire ceiling that we see right now is all made up by petrified sea mud. Back in the day, the entire state of Texas was under an ocean. So we are looking at the bottom of the ancient sea floor. If you guys look right above my head at this crazy bubble, this is a petrified air bubble. Back in the day when the plates started shifting around, some air got trapped underneath the mud and didn't have enough time to escape. So eventually exploded in the seafloor, leaving behind what we call our cave thumbprint. As I said, we do have some cool minerals in here. If you guys look behind you guys on our ceiling at this black stone, this black stone is actually all flint. I have a question. Did you guys watch the Flintstones growing up? Do you guys know what town they lived in?
Rock.
Something rubble.
Bedrock.
Yes, bedrock. That is because the Flintstones were trying to teach us something, and all of the flints on Earth live within a sediment of bedrock. So this tan sediment they see is actually all bedrock holding the Flintstones of the Earth. And again, we see this if you guys look down there at our cave PB&J. You guys can see that flint right in the middle of a sediment of bedrock. I have another super cool mineral in here. If you guys look behind you guys at this white powder, you guys can actually touch it, put it between your fingers, do everything you guys want to. There we go. It's only a little bit poisonous, so you guys should be fine.
Okay, never mind.
I'm kidding. This all is gypsum. Gypsum's used in a lot of construction and makeup and stuff like that. However, back in the day, all of this gypsum was also used in our toothpaste. Although our teeth used to get a lot whiter back in the day, they also started to get a lot smaller. That's because we were brushing our teeth with rocks. It is highly illegal today. I just like to tell that story. However, if any of you guys like Chipotle, they do have gypsum in their vegan cheese. So if any of you guys want smaller teeth after this, you guys can hit up a Chipotle, try out that gypsum. However, gypsum is the second softest mineral on Earth. The only thing softer than gypsum would be talc. And that's why you guys can actually reach out and touch it with your fingernail, because any crystal harder than this would actually shatter it. And if I was allowed to, I would talk about gypsum all day long. So I'm going to keep on going with the story. So back in 1902, when Mr. Rogers owned this cave, he made this room his specific VIP mining room. He told people anything that they can find, they can keep, no questions asked. He sold them 50 cents for a satchel and a candlestick and said, have fun down here. He told people that there's stuff of gold and crystals and things of value here in this cave. Fun fact, there's not a single thing of value here at Wonder World. But as I said, Mr. Rogers, he was a money man and he had money in his eyes. So what he did was, while his beautiful wife was sleeping, he took all of her jewelry, he ground it all up, and then he sprinkled it along the walls. I know, what a good husband he must have been.
I see how that ended.
Yeah, but if you would come here back in the day, you'd see a glimmer in your eye, and you'd get very excited thinking it's gold, and you'd mine it all up, take it to the surface, just to find out that it was sparkly limestone. However, if we were here back in the day, it would look a lot different. I'm going to ask you guys to turn off all of your phones and flashlights, because if we were here back in the day, it would look a bit like this. Can you guys see very much? So imagine you guys are down here and you're trying to find some gold for your family, but it is kind of wet in this cave, and some water happens to land on your last candlestick, and whoosh, you guys are in absolute darkness. Absolute darkness is a phenomenon that happens in 4 places. It happens in caves and caverns like this. It happens very deep in the ocean. It happens very far out in outer space. And it happens deep, deep down in my ex-boyfriend's heart.
Yeah.
If you guys were in absolute darkness for a week, you would have a very bad case of vertigo. You wouldn't know your ups and downs and left from right, and you'd be very disoriented, and you'd be very confused. If you guys were left in this absolute darkness for 2 weeks or longer, a film would grow over your eyeballs, and you'd be going blind. And that's because you'd be starting to develop cataracts. And if you guys are in this absolute darkness for 3 weeks or longer, if you guys ever make it up to the surface, you'll be put in a straitjacket and be declared clinically insane. And that's because you'd be hearing voices that weren't there and seeing things that weren't there. And if you guys were in absolute darkness for 4 weeks or longer, you get a t-shirt and a flashlight and you become a tour guide. If you guys look on our back, you guys can see our glow stones. They are naturally occurring here in our cave. What happens is whenever we shine UV light on these rocks, the electrons within the rocks jump around so fast that it actually reflects the light right back at us. It's what I call our nature's nightlight. I'm gonna turn all the lights back on. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Thank y'all for being so brave. Sometimes this room doesn't go very well. So we are about to go down of our cave. How the story goes, the deeper you go, the slipperier it can be. So please be very careful. It could be a little slippery on our path down there. But once I get in front of you guys can't follow me down.
You have questions for you at the very end.
Okay. If you guys see right here, this is more of that chert, but this is chert that actually got to turn a little bit more into flint, so it's in that weird in-between stage.
It's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very cool. My legs giving out's cool too. I love it.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment.
Sure.
If you want to look any more of that gypsum, feel free.
No, I just wanted to know like how much it is like rent per room.
I mean, we do rent out rooms for birthday parties, but
Like just monthly.
if you guys look right above me, at the end of the tunnel, it gets very low, so please watch y'all's heads at the end of the tunnel.
I'd love to live under a waterfall. That sounds like it'd be beautiful. Cabin, all that. Oh yeah. Nice.
If you guys look up here, this is actually where the cave goblins live. They come out around 2 a.m. to feast, so don't be afraid, they're sleeping now. But that is where the goblins live in our cave. But if you guys look over here, you guys can get some really good views of our flint. Feel free to touch it, kiss it, sing to it, whatever you guys want to do. I think it looks absolutely breathtaking in this room, so feel free. And once you guys are ready, you guys can keep following me down this way.
Apparently you can touch it, kiss it, smell it, lick it, invest in it, call it, talk to it with AI, chat GBT it.
I talk back.
There's a couple souls that might say hello. Right here. Or we keep walking.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for more people real quick.
How do I shined my flashlight at some rocks back there and it was green like this. What is that?
Yeah, that is lichen. It's one of the few things that do live in our cave. It's like a algae or moss that lives on our rocks and actually feeds off of the water that drips down and also any like oil on our hands when we touch it. So when you touch our rocks, you are actually feeding them. Fun fact. But we're about to go in this next room. As we do, just be careful of this big rock right here. This is our choke stone. It looks like your neck can fit between them, but I promise you it cannot. So please just duck right here and you guys can follow me down.
That phone fit. Let's see. That's crazy. Hey, look. Where is she?
There is water down there.
Lady from the Grudge isn't down there.
As you guys come in, you guys can touch everything. Just please do not touch this metal spinning wheel. This is the original pulley system from 1902, and it will definitely give you tetanus, so please do not touch it.
What is it made out of? Asbestos?
No, it's made out of metal, but it's just been here for over 120 years, so very toxic metal.
So pretty much, it's just, I have an EpiPen, so I can touch it once.
You guys can come in
That
and
is
fill
water.
this area a little bit more.
Some coins in there. People made some wishes. I wonder if they came true.
So as you guys can see, there is a big well in here. This is the original well that the Rogers family did use for water from 1904 to 1945. As I said, because it is the original well, it does have some original features like this big pulley system. So please do not touch it. It will not feel good. But if you guys look into our well right now, you guys can see it is a modern wishing well. So if you guys want to make any wishes, feel free to throw any coins. It also takes credit cards and cash, so feel free to put it in there. Your wish will come true, I guarantee it. But if you guys see that fake bottom that's there to collect all those coins, back in the day, that bottom was not there, and it was a 200-foot drop into the Edwards Aquifer. The Edwards Aquifer is an underground water system that actually gives us all of our beautiful, fresh, clean water here in San Marcos. It also gives water to 7 surrounding counties, so it is a very important water resource. It gives water to 2 million people every single day. If you guys look at our well right now, it looks very sad. And that's because in the last 3 years, we've been in a very severe drought. When I started working here, this well was halfway full, believe it or not, and I've slowly watched the water recede. So I just ask people, if you guys do live locally, just be careful of how much water you use so we can have beautiful water for the future. But if you guys were to look into our aquifer right now, you would see some really cool animals. You'd see the Texas blind fish. Oh, wait, that's not a thing. The Texas blind salamander, the Texas blind catfish, and the Texas blind shrimp. Can you guys guess what they all have in common?
They're dead.
They're Texans, y'all.
Oh.
But they are blind because they lived their entire life in that absolute darkness that we just experienced. Their body had no reason to evolve eyes over time. So they actually are all blind, and they're also all transparent. So if you were to hold them up to any lights, you could see their hearts pumping. You could see their breathing or whatever, and they're really cool. If you guys want to learn anything more about these animals, I definitely recommend checking out the Meadow Center here in San Marcos. That's where they have the historic glass bottom boats, and they also have a free aquarium where they have all of those animals on display. However, this room right here is the deepest room of our cave. We are currently 100 feet below the Earth's surface. Whoa. If you guys look at our ceiling, I have one more cool historical marker. If you guys see all of these little black dots on our ceiling, this is from back in the day because these are all soot marks. So back in the day when the kids came and got the water for their family, they only had a candlestick to light their path down here. So each time they came here, they actually left a historical marker on our ceiling. And it is a big reason why we tell people you guys cannot smoke in caves because your evidence will be there for the next 120 years. If you guys were to dig 2 feet deep into this limestone, the soot has traveled 2 feet deep and is still here today. So, that's a big reason why we're like, hey, just don't smoke or spray stuff because our limestone actually will absorb everything. But we are about to go into our last couple of rooms. As we do, we are about to walk up the staircase, you guys. I don't know who made the staircase. They did not do a good job. So just please be very careful. These steps are not even. And you guys can follow me up.
Look at that.
Looks like you should rehire an architect to have these redone.
No, we need it natural.
Pretty cool.
Right there is your nether portal. Take you to the Netherlands.
Alright, well, y'all, I'll see you later. I'm gonna go that way and
Any obsidian down there? So I can build another portal?
I would love to go on an adventure through a portal.
I've been in that hole before.
Yeah.
I got bit by a spider.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had fang marks on my arm. I'm like, that's weird.
What kind of spider?
The last time you went it?
We are about to head into this room. I do have a safety thing for you guys. This big rock right here is the rock of 4-letter words. That says kids miss them, but parents give it its favorite 4-letter word once they hit it. So please, please, please be super careful. This rock has hurt a lot of people. If you guys are taller than 4'11", which all of you guys are going to have to duck right here and keep ducking so you guys get into this hallway.
I'll take the portal.
But you guys can follow me. Just please be very careful of this rock.
Take the portal that way. Go.
More steps that lead up there.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's very high up there.
Yeah. Pretty big, right? Keep it on.
Annoying me because I don't really think that the imperial system makes any sense. I kind of started learning metric and now I'm confused.
I cannot tell you how many feet down we are metric, but we are about 70 feet down. Feet. As you guys come in here, you guys will see my favorite part of the entire cave. It's gonna be all of this beautiful cave coral on these walls. It's actually Edwards limestone and it surrounds the entire aquifer here. And it is so cool and it keeps our water beautiful and clean all year round. And it's one of the most rarest forms of limestone and you can only find it here on the Edwards Plateau out of the entire world. So it's super cool, really fun. Also in this room, you can see some really cool rocks. This one right here is a hope stone. We call it that because we hope it doesn't fall.
I was thinking that as I stood under it.
If this rock falls, the entire cave will collapse on itself. Its scientific name is a wedge stone because when earthquakes happen, they fall between the walls and they help wedge the cave open. And if it wasn't for this, the cave would actually reclose up on itself after that earthquake all those years ago. We have these all throughout the cave. We have one back there. And for the sketchiest hope stone in the cave, it's going to be this bad boy right back there. That one freaks me out. I don't know. I think it's just a little too small for the walls it's holding up. I don't know. But we are about to walk into our last room. As we do, I have one more rock for you guys to be careful of. It's going to be this rock right here. This is our shampoo rock because that will get, whoa, I'm tongue-tied. Because it will get your head and shoulders as you guys go up. So please be careful of this bad boy. Go to y'all's left and you guys can follow me up.
Hello.
Alright, so this is actually Mordor. And that's as far as we're walking back. I'm doing it somehow. Oh, this is sort of the seat. Sort of the seat, right?
Easier than that. That last suitcase is always the worst. It looks like a cave local is out. If you guys want to say hello to Remy the rat, he's right up here. He likes to listen to cave tours, hang out.
Hello.
I made a grown man cry on this one. It's my favorite bit of the cave. But this is our fossil room. A big reason why we call it our fossil room is because of all of these crazy squiggles on our ceiling. These are actually all trace fossils, so there's something that is left behind from a creature, but not the creature itself. So a good example is, imagine you guys are a giant dinosaur and you're running through some mud and you leave behind a footprint. That's kind of what all of these tunnels are. So back in the day when Texas was under that ancient ocean, an ancient sea creature came and dug out all of these holes and tunnels. Then you guys would try to guess what made these?
A banshee. Siren.
Snail, but that's a good guess.
Octopus.
Not an octopus. I had a kid say aquatic squirrel the other day. That was crazy. I say the other day, that was like a year ago, but still blows my mind.
Plankton.
Nope, not a snake. That's a good one.
Land.
Nope. These are actually all from the ancient Radistus sea clam.
Sea clam.
Yeah, I knew it was y'all's next guess. So
I was gonna say oyster.
that's pretty close. So we saw all of these tunnels and we thought, well, that's pretty cool, but we wanted to find out what made these. So back in the day, we did hire a paleontologist. She came over here and she did some digging and she did some looking, and guess what she found?
A body.
Nothing. So she built the staircase face, and she came all the way back here, and she did some more digging, and she did more looking, and guess what she found?
Nothing.
Nothing! But you know, third time's a charm. So she tried coming all the way over here. She thought being closer to the fault line could help her chances. And she dug for a while, and she looked for a while, and guess what she found?
Nothing.
She found absolutely nothing, so we fired her. And with the money that we saved, we got the second stick of TNT to enter this cave, and we actually blew out our giant elevator shaft back here. And in doing so, you guys, we actually found the clams. So you guys, it's kind of hard to see here, but once we get up closer, you'll get a good look. But on our ceiling, we do have two little black lines. Their names are Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie are super cool, but we actually call Ernie his little half-brother, and that's because Ernie was blown up by TNT when we first were pulling up our elevator shaft.
Nice.
But we didn't know that they were there, and we felt really bad once we saw that they were there. So we went through the rubble, and we found the missing half that got exploded off, and we went and we got it carbon dated, because we really wanted to know how old the clams were. However, the clams here are so old that there's no carbon left in them. So we did the next best thing, and we got them argon dated. So if you guys will try to guess how old the clams are.
2,000.
30 odd million.
They're older than that.
5,000.
They're a lot older than that. These clams here are 65 million years old. I don't know about you guys, but those are the oldest Texans I ever met. After tour, you guys can go up there and talk to them, you know, get a photo, whatever you guys want to do. But these clams are super cool. They're from the late Cretaceous period, so they did swim around with all the dinosaurs that we know of today. And they're
from
super cool,
Atlantis.
super ancient. We also have another fossil that we found right over here behind this lovely lady. Its name is Ollie the oyster. It's actually a devil's toenail oyster, and it's also 65 million years old from the late Cretaceous period. And if any of you guys are local to this part of Central Texas, I definitely recommend, if you guys like fossil hunting, to go on any of the nature trails here in San Marcos. You can find so many versions of these. I actually have like 5,000 in my apartment. It's a really bad hobby. But if you guys want your very own fossil to take home, feel free to hit up any of the national parks or reserves here in San Marcos, and you can find so many versions of those, and they're all 65 million years old or older, which is really cool. But back in the day, they didn't just find fossils in this room. If you guys look behind me at all of these ancient writings in our wall, these are actually from the ancient era called the 60s. I'm joking. Back in the 60s, when Wonderworld would close, Underworld would open. Underworld was an underground nightclub here in this room. They actually had the bar right behind you guys. And where I am sitting is where they actually had live music. So the bands and musicians would play here. If you guys look right here, there's like a little piece of metal sticking out. That is actually an old mic stand that they used to have up here for the bands. And right above my head, they eventually hung a giant disco ball.
I can see a mark.
It's probably from it. But back in the day, they would try to fit a lot of people in this room. They actually try to fit about 100 to 150 people in this room every single night. I had 65 people in this room once, and that was the worst day of my life. I could not imagine being closer in the hundreds. People were in the cracks.
Crazy.
People were in the crevices doing who knows what. But it was the 60s, so probably nothing legal. And there wasn't a single cave in the 60s that had air ventilation. So all the smoke and carbon monoxide that they were producing into the air had nowhere to go. It would just stay into this cave. So eventually people would walk up into this cave and get very, very sick. And that's because they're being poisoned by carbon monoxide, which is not a good look for the cave. And somebody did soon call the fire marshal. He came down here. He said no more rays in the cave, and he shut the whole party scene down. However, today in 2024, we do rent out the cave for birthday parties. We love doing fun things like that. We also do field trips and other community events. If you guys are ever in town and want to do something fun with kiddos, feel free to look us up. We do fun things for Christmas. We're about to do a fun thing for October. We do all sorts of fun things throughout the year, so feel free to keep us in mind. And thank you guys for all coming out. This is going to be the end of the tour. You guys are such an amazing crowd. I haven't given a tour in 6 months because I normally am doing manager stuff. So, like, I'm super stoked to be here. Y'all were so sweet. How the next part of the tour is going to look is if you guys want to take any family photos or group photos, you guys can come up here and I'll take them for you guys. I don't mind whatsoever. Or if you guys want to stay in somewhere in this room, I'll take them for you guys. And if you guys want to do your very own DIY cave exploring, you guys can check out our finger cave. That's when you go under these handlebars and into this hole. You take a right and you come out right over here. If you want to check that out, feel free. You guys can even take my flashlight. If you guys want any photos, you guys can.
I know what I'm doing.
You want to do it? Oh, you want to do it?
Certainly does.
Just make sure you take a right and take a
Okay, you
left.
take this.
I need to hold on to a railing for my leg, Judah.
Okay, I guess that's your point.
I kind of am working with something here.
They didn't wear heels.
All right, we'll see you in 7 to 12 years. See how you turn out.
Maybe it's weird. Why not? Just be careful.
Hey.
Don't do it from-
So what way do I go now?
How deep does it go? Judah.
Take a right.
Judah.
Right and then left.
No, just a right.
Okay.
Does it go deep? Where does it go? Hey, Judah.
What?
Does it go deep? Where does it go?
It doesn't really go deep.
Is it worth me getting in? Is it worth me? Okay, well, I'm not getting much of an answer from that, so I guess I go in. Judah, flash the light over this direction for me.
Be careful coming down.
You want me to grab your phone and put it through there?
No, I already began my ascent or descent or whatever. Okay, so
I'm watermelon. How are
where do you go? So you just come out that direction?
Yep.
Alright, shine it for me. I get a little bit of light. And let me make sure I can just fit on through this. And how about my head? They gotta duck a little, crawl.
But feel free to walk up there. I can even take a photo if you want to go all the way to the top. I really don't care. I'd say the soft by that Texas-sized turkey leg or Jabba the Hutt back there might get mad.
Yeah, bend ahead.
So that portal took forever. What'd I miss?
It's been 60 years.
Oh my gosh.
You haven't been in detention
I
for
need a beer.
9.
60-year-old beer for me.
Does anybody get that joke?
Yeah.
Everyone.
For you.
Alright. So what I miss really though?
Detention for such a long
So you
time.
can climb up there.
You may have a very minor case of serious brain damage.
Let's take this. 60 pounds.
Now it's your turn.
Holy cow.
Are you having fun up there?
You see my ancestor?
So we can start taking up some people out of the cave. I'm gonna take probably like 7 at a time. So if you guys are ready, you guys can meet me up this way.
Alright.
So question, what would happen if we went left in there?
You would be crawling. You would end up crawling for 70 feet, and then you reach a dead end, and you'll be super muddy and very sad.
Oh.
So this is
So
probably the
that's-
extent of them blowing out and finding any more anything.
So they only found these right here. So here's a little half brother burnt, and here is big old Ernie right here. These are the clams, and then they found the one down there. And there's probably thousands of fossils within this layer. They just haven't had the money or the time to really go in and like excavate, because getting paleontologists are not cheap, which is very surprising because we live in a college town. But it takes a lot of money and resources to get paleontologists down here. So
No more rooms. They gave up looking probably.
there is quite a few other rooms. There's actually a couple other caves in San Marcos alone, and our cave actually leads to all of those caves. So there is like little tunnels and stuff that lead to other caves. However, A lot of those, I said, because we're connected to the aquifer, you need a scuba suit to actually.
Jurisdiction.
Yeah, and because it's the aquifer, and that's federally protected because it is a water resource. Nobody is allowed down there, so most of our tunnels and stuff you can't really explore. Also, a lot of it's geologically unstable. So the other caves in San Marcos got all closed down because of that. But because we are under a Great Burial, like basically the ancient version of the Great Burial Reef, we're pretty fine with like geologically wise. But most other caves here are very unstable.
Contact the county. Go into the cave. Next challenge. Okay.
Also, this elevator looks like a broken down elevator.
Yeah, it is an old mine elevator.
Sometimes they'll open stuff up for specific things. Every once in a while. So.
Mr. Rogers didn't get along with Mrs. Rogers. Mr. Rogers didn't get along with Mrs.
Probably not. Where is he down here? Maybe.
You ever find him?
I'll get you guys on the next one.
I mean, he's in the camera somewhere. I'll look for the photo.
Mr. Rogers,
see an apparition.
This isn't his only business in town. He opened the first cave in Texas, which is this one. But he also opened the first amusement park in Texas, and that was Ocarina Springs. Is the old mermaid.
Oh, yeah, I heard
arcade
about that one.
Yeah, so he actually had both of those going on at the same time. So he was making a lot of money off this property. He was the first tourism in this part of Texas, like ever, which is really cool. But sadly, Ocarina Springs is no longer here, which is really sad because it was a big part of Texas history. But you can only do what you can do. But we are about to get up into our main room. Once we get up here, there'll be a room to our right, which is a bathroom if you guys have to go.
Escape room, y'all.
If not, once we get everybody from below, we'll all go into that anti-gravity house.
You ready to run from Jason?
So if you guys just want to wait in this general area, you guys can wait outside and have some picnic tables. And I'll see you guys in a couple minutes for that anti-gravity house.
Elevator certified, compliant, posted inside management office. Let's see that management office. Alright, so we got this whole other area.
I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
Thank you.
Years.
Hey, what was your name again?
I'm Ashley.
Ashley? Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it. This is going to be online.
Hold my water. I'm going in the tunnel. Also, my flashlight. I don't think I'm gonna need it.
They're probably over on the other side of the building. Alright, so that was the World of Wonder tour. Not sure exactly where we are, but shout out. Hope you enjoyed.